But you guys know the drill by now. Gotta let the screen here. Make sure that everything is nice and stable all across the YouTube platform. We are in the building, guys, for Week 5, Denver Broncos versus Las Vegas Raiders. The Denver Broncos are looking to extend their win streak to 3 games in a row. They went on a 2-game East Coast win streak, getting wins over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and New York Jets on the backs of their dominating. Looking to take it of a beat-up and battered Raiders team that has a lot of off-the-field turmoil and drama. The Broncos are in a really good position right now where they could possibly win 3 games in a row. They could get to 3-2 on the season with another divisional opponent in the Los Angeles Chargers coming in here next week. Again, guys, the opportunity for the Denver Broncos and the chances that they have to season this one are just absolutely huge. All right, it looks like we got someone in here, so very good to see. Got a few Raiders players taking the field right now. The Denver Broncos, of course, rocking their throwback uniforms today. And they're honoring the 1977 AFC Championship game team. They're doing throwback music throughout the game. They've got the throwback logo paint, or not throwback logo, the throwback wallpaper on the sides. They've got the end zones that are painted just like the end zones were in the 1977 AFC Championship game. A really cool addition by the Denver Broncos, really going all out for this game. So, going ahead and previewing what to expect in this game. This is going to be a matchup where the Las Vegas Raiders have 7 players listed as out, including multiple starters. Davante Adams, of course, he's out with disgruntlability. Then, of course, we've got Zamir White, their starting running back. A couple of starting offensive linemen not playing for the Raiders. Their starting linebacker, Divine Diablo. So the Raiders are dealing with a lot of injuries right now. This is a great opportunity for the Broncos because with the issues of not having Davante Adams and not having your starting running back in Zamir White, that should overall limit what this Raiders offense is going to be able to do. Jacoby Myers is now going to step into the wide receiver 1 role for the Raiders, and with Pat Surtain going up against him, I'm pretty confident that Myers isn't going to kill the Broncos just like he did in both matchups last year. Going up against Pat Surtain is going to be a hell of a lot better than going up against a guy like Damari Mathis or a guy like Fabian Moreau, like Jacoby Myers had the opportunity to do in those 2 games against the Raiders last year. We got Broncos fan 99 in the house saying, don't fall for the trap. Denver needs to be focused. And just like I said in my pregame show, guys, it is on the coaching staff at the end of the day to ensure that Denver doesn't fall into this trap. You're at home against an opponent who on paper you should beat, given the brand of football that the Raiders have played this year, combined with, of course, the off-field drama, the issues with their coaching. I still don't think Antonio Pierce was the right hire for the Raiders long-term, and he's starting to show that. So this is where I think coaching for the Denver Broncos should on paper have the leg up on the Las Vegas Raiders. But as we've seen before from this Broncos team, they've had the coaching advantage on paper before and they've squandered it. So the hope here is that this team is going to be well prepared for what the Raiders are going to throw at them. Max Crosby, I'm not sure if he's active or not today, but he got a limited practice in on Friday, was listed as questionable for the game. So I anticipate Crosby going today. I don't think he's going to be 100%, but even Max Crosby not at 100% is one of the best edge rushers in the NFL. I think that he's going to give Alex Palczewski easily his biggest test so far out of the 3 games that he will have started for the Denver Broncos. And this is going to give the Broncos a much better idea if Palczewski can really step in and be the long-term replacement for Mike McGlinchey at right tackle. So we're going to be looking for him to have a big game. All right. Got the rest of the team taking the field. Offensive linemen, defensive linemen. We got Robert Pena in the house, resident Raiders fan. Hope you are doing well, Robert. It's going to be a fun matchup today between our two teams. So for the Raiders, they've got Gardner Minshew as their starting quarterback. He's been a fine, solid game manager this year. Nothing really spectacular. He's thrown 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 900 yards passing, but he has taken 13 sacks on the year. That should be an advantage for the Denver Broncos pass rush, especially on the interior. John Franklin Myers, Zach Allen, DJ Jones, Malcolm Roach. I anticipate those guys to speed. And there are the Raiders. Offensive linemen taking the field. We got DB94 in the house saying, "Let's go, Gage. The streak ends today." We got Real Sourced in the house saying, "This is going to be such a terrible game. Our offense is absolute trash. We still need a better quarterback." It's going to be on Bo Nix today to showcase that he's taken steps forward and grown and improved, because this Raiders defense is decimated with injuries. That secondary already is questionable, and with their injuries at linebacker, I feel like this is going to be the best opportunity for Bo Nix to have a big showing, because quite frankly, this is the worst defense that he has faced all year long, and the worst defense that he is going to face in a while. That's not to say the Raiders are a completely bad defense. They've got really good players on that unit. It's just what I question is their ability to really put everything together and put together a cohesive game. The Raiders have gotten some good wins on the year. They went into Baltimore and beat the Ravens. They beat the Browns after going down by 10 points in last week's game. So the Raiders do have some good pieces, and they've shown that they can scrap out wins. But not having Devontae Adams, not having Zamir White, that's going to be advantage Denver Broncos. We got Everett in the house. Good to see you. We've got Ryan in the house. We've got Maverick. We've got Viking Jerome. We've got DB saying Bo Nix is going to shut up the haters today. I think we can all sit here and hope that Bo Nix is going to put together a solid, complete game, like he has for the last couple of weeks. Limit the mistakes, limit the negative plays, limit the turnovers. If the Broncos take care of the football, if they can establish a run game with Javonte Williams, with possibly Blake Watson, with Jaleel McLaughlin, I think that the Broncos could easily get a lead early in this game and not relinquish it. I'm hoping that if Denver wins the coin toss, they elect to receive just like they did in the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I thought giving Denver the lead early in that game and letting the defense go out there early and play with the lead, that was huge. And I think it's going to be a very similar situation in this game. If the Raiders do end up with the ball first, then the Broncos defense needs to go out there and set the tone early and get a 3 and out. Maverick says Bo Nix throws for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns today. That would be sweet, man. It would give Broncos country that first big statement of confidence that Bo Nix could be the guy. Crosby is indeed active. Yep, I figured he would be. I figured he would be after getting that limited practice in. Yep, I'm up in the upper deck today, Maverick. I'm attending a game with Glenn Hauser, my fellow co-host on the 5280 podcast. So we are up here in the upper deck today. I kind of like the preseason too, so I like the switch up. So yeah, this is going to be our view today. Got a good view of the board, great view of the field. Looks really cool. Again, the wallpaper that they've done really makes it feel like a throwback game. The only thing that would have been really cool though is if we could have convinced the Raiders to wear their uniforms, their old throwback game all across the board. Reese says, "I'm there." Right on, Reese. Well, glad you could attend. What section are you in? We got Andres Ramirez in the house. Good to see you, Andres. Hopefully you are doing well. So overall, guys, the Denver Broncos, the advantage on paper is to them, both offensively and defensively. But again, as we all know, this really is the classic formula for a trap game in the NFL. If there's anybody that knows that, if there's anybody that's going to preach that, it's Sean Payton. The Broncos have to be able to stay disciplined. No penalties. Don't get behind the chains with negative plays. Stay ahead of the chains at all times. That is going to be huge. If you get behind the chains and you consistently get yourself in 2nd and long, 3rd and long, that's how your offense stalls out. Help your offense out and help out Bo Nix early. Get him some easy completions. Sorry, guys. Scheme him up some easy completions. Scheme him up, some easy, zone reads. take advantage of his speed to make some defenders miss in the open field. He's got that sneaky, low-key athleticism to him. And just like Maverick says, don't get complacent. If the Broncos get complacent against this team, they will beat them. Remember, the Raiders have beaten the Broncos for 8 games in a row, and it's because the Broncos have gotten complacent at various times against this team. So that's going to be the big key, just like Maverick said, is do not get complacent. All right, Broncos country, we're going to start to wind this thing down here. We have about 39 minutes until kickoff. Let me know in the comments section below, guys, what do you think the final score of this game is going to be? What is the overall theme of the game? How do you think things are going to play out? Like I said earlier in my game prediction, I think that the Raiders are going to struggle to generate much of an offense with how well the Broncos defense has been playing. And I think that this is going to be the best opportunity for the Broncos offense to be able to score points. So for that reason, I have the Broncos winning this game 24-14. Glenn, score, go.
37-17, go Broncos.
37-17 Broncos, Glenn says. Maverick says Broncos 28-17. Already called the prediction for Bo Nix to throw 3 touchdowns, 300 yards. Bronco fan agrees with me, 24-14 Broncos. DB says 28-10 Broncos. Jason, 23-3 Broncos. So I think everybody is feeling a Broncos victory today. Hopefully they don't get complacent, stay disciplined, stay ahead of the chain, and the Broncos should be able to get a win. All right, guys, be sure to leave a like on the stream as well as subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. It helps out YouTube's algorithm and push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. And until post-game, guys, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.
Sweet. What's up, dude?